You were the leader from the start. I mean, you're the special one. You're the healer.
I was. Now I can't even sneeze without my heart skipping a beat.
But that's not who you are. That's a
All my life,
thing
no
that
matter how
happened to
weird
you.
things got, I never felt alone. Because I was your twin. Maybe I'm different.
Sweetheart,
Maybe
talk to Michael.
maybe
Because
I'm a
Michael
freak.
was always
What's this
the
really
extra
about?
one.
I can't stop thinking about being chained up when I was a kid. Didn't feel like someone bad chained me up. It felt like I was the someone bad.
Oh, but you were a little baby
You're
child.
not dangerous.
Saving people, just I want to chase that high. I wish I
Yeah.
could kill him 1,000 times.
You can fight that, my love.
Something evil was chasing. Maybe that something was me.
It wasn't, because they wouldn't have put you in a cave with their babies if they thought you were some evil devil. They would have put you in a different place so that their babies would be
I
safe
wanna
from
show
you.
something. And it wasn't you.
No, because they would not have left you with their babies.
Find out who it
They'd have
was.
put you in a different cave. I love all the information we're getting and seeing another one of Alex's brothers, but this seems like a better brother.
Before we go, I also feel like I should congratulate you on getting out
Of the Navy?
of the family,
Yeah.
getting out from under Dad.
You gotta break free of him, man.
Do you feel free?
I don't think I get to be free until you are.
Oh.
You're my brother. I wish that I would have stood up for you more.
No. At least he has one good brother.
No, I think he's actually getting a bit better. It's
Oh,
like a
sweetheart,
stroke
he's
melted away with
tricking you,
psycho
my
from his
love.
brain or something.
If you can forgive him, you should. Cast off the stone. Let me hate him for you.
Oh.
I owe you that much.
Just honestly, it's so funny that Alex has one brother that loves him and wishes he was there for him,
So
though.
the drive from here to Roswell isn't that bad.
Good to know.
Oh, you have one loving brother. If this brother turns out to be secretly evil, I'll kill everyone. Oh, I'm so glad for Alex. Oh.
Liz. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna change, okay?
I should fire her. I'm gone one day, and already you're showing up
dear.
late for your shift.
Oh.
Called me.
Diego?
Diego. That said sail on it, but nada. Although I did manage
Is that
to
the name of her,
spend 4 weeks worth
the
of
daughter?
tests Anyway.
Maria is their niece.
Yeah, it was
Grandniece.
printed on the back of my grandmother's necklace. I thought
It's Navajo for star on the ground. So, you guys ready to go?
Yes. Maria is the descendant of the alien.
What year was your grandmother born? 48, I think.
Yes, I knew it. So she wanted her to have the necklace because that would keep her safe from alien stuff. And
Yeah. Oh my god. Your grandmother was my sister.
she and Isabella related, not Max. That's actually hilarious because she hates Isabel. Oh, that is. I mean, it's a revelation we've been waiting for, but that is a revelation.
Means a lot.
Yes. And Liz did need to have a good conversation with this man because she sort of destroyed his life. Liz needed this.
How did you
He
get
needed
here so
this.
fast?
I was at the airport.
I'm not wasting anything.
Oh, Liz, it's dangerous because you haven't
All
told
the cool
them.
studies make you sign it. Maybe you're slacking, Ortego.
I am sorry. It has only been a year. Did you literally forget everything about me?
Liz?
Oh, there's a new boyfriend.
You got my calls.
Oh, he came running as soon as he did. That would be so handy.
You still have it?
No, I sold it on eBay.
Oh, they have such chemistry.
What are you gonna do with it?
I'm gonna give it to him. I want to see what he does with it once he's got
Oh,
it.
Alex
If he
trusts
brings it
that
in
his
the console,
dad's-
Then it fits somewhere else. My dad could lead us there.
Your dad hunts aliens, Alex.
Alex wants to
My
believe his dad
family
is
right off the cliff.
changing.
I've protected you so far. That's not changing. Besides, he's different.
Oh,
these days.
Alex, don't trust him, my dearest love.
You have to be kidding me.
I don't trust him, Garen. I'm asking you to trust me.
When we were kids, you believed people were good. Despite humanity doing everything to prove you
So
otherwise.
true, and he still does.
And God, I loved you for it.
But now you're older.
But what was charming when we were 17, it's just stupid now. How do you not see that?
He just wants to believe his
You
dad could
believe there's some good
change.
in your father.
Yeah, I do. God forbid I have faith in people who don't give me a good reason to.
That's
Oh,
not fair.
No?
this is horrible.
Why is your hand covered? You miss your injury because you want to hurt. Your anger made you feel safe.
Oh,
I will always hate my father for what he did to you. But I don't want to live in that tool shed for the rest of my life.
Oh.
I don't want to walk around thinking that people don't change. That one day
Sweetheart.
everyone's just gonna let me down. Because I'm not building
love you,
a damn
Alex.
rocket ship in a hidden layer. There's one way for me off of this planet. And I need to believe in a reason to stay.
Oh. This is such a difficult, horrible conversation, but so important. And oh, Alex, trusting your father is a mistake. Oh.
What are you gonna do? Fight me for it?
See, these two need to have a lot of conversations like this in order to get where I want them to get. Oh. I hate this because he shouldn't trust his dad, but at the same time, I get why he does and I love him for it. Oh. Why are we seeing him walk to his car? That's very stressful. What the hell? What was that?
I'm okay. I'm so tired.
Tell me what's happening with Alex, please.
I'll be done. Talk to me. I know your day was hard too.
You need to talk to her, Max, okay?
I'm fine.
You're dealing with a lot of stuff. You've got to talk about it.
Why your family came here.
Yeah.
If I even had a family.
That's what you've got to tell
I know
her.
so little about my own story. And the parts that I thought...
I truly never understood why they just assumed they were twins, but
Unraveling.
Max,
they're twins in every other way.
family is the one area where I am certain biology does not matter. Look, when I found out that Rosa was only my half-sister, that didn't change anything.
This is different. I'm completely alone.
Completely alone.
The family
here.
sense,
When you
Liz.
needed a rescue today, your Mensa Society old money son of a Senator X was there to answer your
Okay, Max.
prayers. I couldn't even answer a call. You didn't need
You
me.
were busy.
Okay, so would you prefer that I did need you? Would you prefer to come home to
Yeah.
find me crying into my dad's room?
That's not fair. You
That
want me
is
to talk about
what you
today?
said, sweetheart, and you're not talking about what actually happened today.
I want you to feel better.
Anything.
Exactly. Being in love with someone, you don't need them to always save you. But you're
So
together.
determined. Yeah.
It's your great grandmother. This is. I love
To be
this.
here, she hadn't been. I don't know how to be worth it.
At least this will hopefully help them form a bond. It's a start. It's weird, yeah.
Yeah. Of sibling rivalry.
Well, you do make me suffer.
Isabel?
You are not about to propose to my great-great-grandniece. Branches of this family tree are twisted enough.
Yes. That's what he was making.
Beads are made. You don't have to wear it if you don't want to. I know better than to think I can save Maria DeLuca.
Yep.
I hope
But
you
it's
decide
good
you
that
can
he's
save yourself.
got the choice, because if it's going to degenerate her brain, it's not worth it.
People have made sacrifices so I could be here.
That's
I don't want
true.
to waste them.
Got a different outlook on it now. She knows everything. What's Max up to? How's Alex? He must be fine because Michael didn't see him, or did he get taken? Max? Isn't that the... That can't be good for his heart, can it?
There's no approved application outside of violent combat.
Ooh. Alex. Oh my god. Oh god. I knew something like this would be happening to him because Michael hadn't found him outside and it wasn't like they were just robbing him. I'm bloody stressed. I do not approve. Do not appreciate. Oh. So they rescued him when they ran away? They were rescuing him when they took him with him, so they loved him when they did want him. Of course he took the stuff to get his memories back. So they took him away from people that were locking him up. So they left him with their babies. They obviously loved him or wanted to protect him from. Oh, I'm not okay with this ending. How dare you end it like that? How dare you end it like that? Okay, so I'm not okay with that ending. Excuse you. I mean, I know I've been seeing rumblings like in the fandom of people saying that they thought it was like confirmed that at some point Alex was going to get abducted, but I kind of was ignoring that and thinking like he's going to be fine. And B, I thought that maybe it was going to be like the bright light. I didn't think he was going to be like whacked around the head and taken. If Gregory is involved in that, I am going to be pissed off. But yeah, so much happens in every episode. Like on Tumblr, I've seen the show. People complaining that the show moves too slowly, that it's got too many plots, and I'm like, it has a hell of a lot of plots, but it moves so fast, and we do get answers. The plots do roll on and on and on. And yes, they are not setting up plots that are going to be nicely rounded off in season 2, but they've been renewed for season 3 already, and their show has got lore that's going to stretch and stretch and stretch, and I love it. So there's so much happened in this episode in 42 minutes. We found that she did have the baby. I remember when I was editing last week's reaction, there was the bit where Nora was saying, like, you know, protect the child. And then Michael was like, oh, obviously it was Max. But it kind of, my brain was like, we've been theorising that she had a baby with him for forever. So the fact that she was pregnant would explain why Nora wanted to protect her, especially because, you know, if she was taken, that baby would suffer. So, like, that's why Louise was prioritised over Nora, and why Nora was being so protective of her. So I love that we got the confirmation that they did have the baby, and that kind of saying the baby died, I think, is important because if anyone were to track them down, they would see a record that, okay, yeah, she had a baby, but it died. So also that shows Isabel that she can fall in love with someone new and have a baby, or she can use a sperm donor that isn't Michael. But I think that's important for Isabel as well. But I love that Maria now knows this piece of her history that had been hidden from her, and it was hidden from her for a very good reason. I'm in no way kind of trying to be anti them keeping that from her. And it explains a lot. Maybe it explains why her family were the only ones that actually had side effects from the alien experiments in Caulfield, or maybe why they survived it, or maybe why maybe it's the experiments that caused the degeneration side. Maybe it's a thing that if aliens and humans intermingle, they degenerate over time. They get this brain disease. I mean, it's a fascinating thing, and that is something I wish Liz was investigating. I wish Liz was investigating Maria and what's up with her, because they need to fix that and solve that so that she can be at one with her powers and her ability to see the future, and yet also not have a brain degeneration disease. I love that moment when Michael was like, well, you know, having a child, if you want to have a child, I'll do it with you. Genuinely, my whole soul, because, like, just think of when we met Michael, he was someone that, I don't need you, I don't need anyone, I don't need a family, I don't have a family. And this season he's accepted he has a family. This season he's trying to make good choices and do right. He's found out that Walt wanted him, he's found out that his mum wanted him. He's got confirmation now that his mum wasn't putting Max over himself. She was putting an unborn baby over herself. And, like, just saying to Isabel, I mean, that is a gesture of such love. If you say to someone, I will raise a child with you, you know, sure, we'll be platonic, but I will have a baby with you. That is such an important thing. And it just meant so much when he said it, and Isabel's reaction to it, and their relationship is everything, and I've loved watching them this season. The Pod Squad family bond is everything to me, and I'm very sad that Max is now on the outside, but I've been saying for a very long time, I just been confused for a very long time about how they knew Max and Isabel were twins, because did they do DNA tests? Because if they'd done DNA tests, and they would know for sure they were aliens, and maybe the government has always known, but you feel like the government would have just secreted those 3 children into Caulfield, you know, they wouldn't have been like, oh sure, let them grow up in our society. So I've always been kind of perplexed about because they only started looking into Max Evans when Jenna said, like, look into Max Evans, etc. And I think, like, from what they said, like, the finding of the 3 children was kept quite quiet, for their own safety, I suppose, because they didn't know where they'd been taken from, so maybe, like, their whole backstory wasn't fully known. But for Max to know now that he for sure isn't related to Isabel, now that is a lot to process, you know. If I found out tomorrow that I wasn't actually part of this family, unfortunately I am, or not unfortunately, but I am, like, I've done the anti-DNA thing, both my parents appeared, but it would just change your whole perception on things, and I don't think it should stop them being your family, but it would change the way you thought. And he always had that thing of Isabel and Max were twins. Now, what I really think, the person he needed to talk to about how he was feeling was Michael, because Michael had always been the third one. Michael had been the one that wasn't a part of their family. Michael had been the one that suffered a lot as a child, that was kept separate. But he knows what it's like to have the great twin bond and me. You know, he knows exactly what that's like. So I think he is really the person that Max should have been speaking to about how that feels, because he would know 100%. And, you know, they're now on an equal playing field in the sense of, like, biologically speaking, none of them are related. And yeah, now it would be weird if he were to get with Maria, right? I mean, it wouldn't, because he's not related to Isabel as far as we can tell. But I think at the end, Max, I was really confused about why Max was taking this stuff. I completely forgot that it helped you get memories back. For a minute, I thought he was just going to try and stop having his abilities because he was worried the darkness was going to get out of control. But I think him seeing that vision of Louise coming to save him, you know, he knows now that there were people that were fighting to get him out of where he was locked up, that there were clearly people that didn't believe he should be locked up. And I think that's so important for him to know that, like, clearly he's not just some dark devil, that Isabel was right. There was somebody with a hand on Nora's shoulder, someone not good. And that is who we need to figure out. That is who we need to investigate. And I think as well, it's fascinating to think, is that the whole reason the aliens left their country? I forgot, do we know what it is? I know a name that people use in fanfics. I don't know if that's the name of the show. My brain's gone blank. But is the whole reason they left, was it to do with the war? Was it a disagreement over the treatment of Max? Or was it like, what happened? But we're getting closer and closer to actual information, and I love that so much. And you know, it's sad to think that Louise spent her time alone, basically, just confined to that chair, just waiting for a sign that her other little staff was going to be okay. And it's so fascinating that she died in 97, which was the same time that they woke up. So did her death trigger them waking up somehow? Did she trigger it? Did she sort of think, oh, the world's safe enough now, boom, they're awake, now I can die? Like, is that what happened? But it's interesting, and the concept of the flowers growing on their graves, and those particular flowers growing on their graves, is also fascinating. So yeah, Louise's story is sad in a different way to Nora's. It's less sad than Nora's in the sense that, you know, she got to live with kindness and to help people, and she wasn't locked up and experimented on. But neither of them had wonderful lives you'd dream of for your mothers. And then knowing that, you know, she had that baby and she sent the baby into the world, and that baby has now had the Mimi and then had Maria, is amazing. And we've been theorising that since season 1, so it's great to finally have that confirmation and we can properly start the ball rolling on that plotline. Speaking, I feel like there's so much happened in this episode. So the whole thing with Arturo was absolutely heartbreaking. Every time we see on the news about ICE and the things they do, because it's not, like, so much of it just seems to go beyond just doing your job. Because if my job required me to act the way they act, I wouldn't be able to do that job. If they truly believe that they are keeping America safe, why on earth would deporting a middle-aged man who's run a diner all his life and raised a daughter in there? And like, oh, I think it's good in the sense that they've not forgotten that Liz was arrested for that vandalism charge way back in the beginning. And I'm so glad that she had someone she could call. And the whole concept of, like, Jenna using her privilege, I mean, like Liz says, it makes your blood boil that is necessary, but it's so good that she was able to do it because it did get them some information. But the little things like not taking his coat. How would it hurt you to take the coat and be like, I'll give him this? Like, it's just little humane things, you know. I think if the ICE operators had been like, I'm very sorry that you're distressed, madam, but, you know, we are in compliance with the law for whatever reason, yeah, we'll take his coat, we'll take his money. I mean, obviously the ICE agents were just pieces of shit who were racist in this case, and it seems like when you look at the news, a lot of them are, and it just, I know the UK is not much better, I know the UK is not some shining bastion of tolerance, and of just, I mean, tolerance is a bad word, of just acceptance and everyone just loving each other, but genuinely it makes me so angry when I see ICE in America and Trump's administration, and we've got the Tories here. The world is a dark and awful place. So that plotline is something that since the pilot has been in the show. You know, she saw the ICE agents and, you know, she had to go at Max for pulling over the brown person when obviously it was because of the front car, her tail light was out or whatever, and then, you know, her going to her dad and saying, oh, there's a nice checkpoint, make sure you avoid it. And it's been in the show since the beginning, and the way Liz talked about how it's been in her life, her whole life. And I thought of how many people there are in America who are so scared that their parents are going to get deported, and it just makes me so angry because people just want to make a better life for themselves. And, you know, sure, if they genuinely came to your country and became violent, murdering drug dealers, but there are far more natural American citizens who are violent, murdering, drug dealing type people than there are immigrants. I think this show's done a really good job of highlighting that without kind of making it seem out of place within the show, or not, you know, like something like we've shoehorned on a political message. It's always just been a part of the show, and I like that at the end, you know, Max asking Liz why her parents came here, and then her being like, oh, so you've wondered the same about your family. And the alien storyline has always in some ways paralleled the storyline of illegal immigrants in America. So yeah, it's just, that was absolutely heart-wrenching, and I'm so glad that she was able to help him and save him. She got Diego. I mean, we've needed to see Diego since the beginning, largely because Liz just ghosted him and left. So she really needed to have a conversation with him, and I'm glad that he's in a place where he's not angry. He seems like a great guy, and him looking up the drug and finding out that it's a military drug, etc. That suggests Jesse Maines, doesn't it? That it's a military use drug really suggests Jesse Maines, and we know he wanted Charlie, and now someone's got Alex. I'm very stressed. But is Diego somehow going to be involved now? Is he going to get targeted because he looked it up, or is he going to keep looking into things and find out more? Is that the last we're going to see of Diego or not? I mean, it could be either way, I suppose. But I'm so glad that she was able to give Arturo a hug and that he was there. And yeah, okay, so, you know, he's in the system now as not just someone getting a green card. His green card's been denied, so they're going to need to do the whole process again. They're going to need someone else to be his sponsor because Liz can't do it unless she pleads not guilty to the vandalism charge and gets away with it. I mean, she could say that she saw the vandalism and she picked up the paint can and without thinking, and then the police arrived. You know, I suppose maybe as a juror you could find her not guilty if she has no other priors, etc. I don't know, but if she can get that off her record, she'll be able to stand as his sponsor. But it's just stressful and important that the show goes there, but heartbreaking as well. So then I feel like I'm so missing things. Jenna is still suffering the side effects, and we know it's that drug. They drilled into her spine and they gave it, like, some dodgy stuff is happening there, and I'm very, very concerned. We saw in the last episode, I'm changing attack again. I think Alex is always just, I love him so much. I love him more every episode. Like, Michael is my absolute favourite character, but Alex is basically equal. You know, like, there's a 0.001% difference between them. But this episode, seeing him, you know, helping out and helping them all out and just being there for Maria with no hard feelings, despite the fact that she's currently living the love of his life, and him kind of, he's trying to write music again, that is everything. And, like, he's just finding himself again. And knowing that one of his brothers got out of the military, he got out of his father's cycle of toxicness and is living there. And, you know, having him, Gregory, not trying to be like, oh, I wasn't so bad at home, but being visibly broken up that he didn't protect Alex from their father, visibly broken up that, you know, he was a scared kid who didn't do much when his dad was being abusive towards his other brother, and saying that, you know, he'll never be out unless Alex is out, and that if Alex can find a way to forgive their father, that is so good for him to feel free of that, but he will never be able to forgive the treatment of Alex. And that, to me, that is everything. Like, the fact that Alex has a brother that is loving and good. And I'm so stressed. Like, if Gregory was involved in the dark stuff and that was all fake, I will kill him myself. I will push him off that cliff with Jesse Maines. But he has one brother that not only has escaped the cycle, but is kind and loves him. And that hug was everything to me. And then I think Alex and Michael's conversation, it was necessary. They have got, these two, like, since season 1, have just needed to talk to each other. And we're having little dribs and drabs and then fights and then there's emotional moments. But to me, they still love each other and they still have such a future, but they have to get through things, and they do both need to move on from that day in the tool shed, and that means different things for both of them. And I think it's fascinating to me that when Michael was talking to Alex about how he could possibly forgive his father and see good in him, Alex's thing was, well, I'll never be able to forgive him for hurting you, but I want to move on with it. Whereas Michael, I think, yeah, okay, sure, he remembers that day, but what he'll remember most about that day was the dad, you know, strangling Alex. He'll remember knowing that he'd been beating Alex all those years. That is how, like, Alex's primary thing he should be able to forgive him for should be his treatment of Alex, not his treatment of Michael in that one incident. So I think that shows you where they both are. I truly think that Michael wasn't actually quite as, like, you should never forgive your dad because he broke my hand. I think it was more because of the wider picture with Alex. Though obviously what happened to Michael was still a big part of it. So I think that shows you what a good person Alex is, or just what a selfless person Alex is, and it shows you that both of them put the other one first still. And, you know, that whole thing where he was like, you know, I'm asking you to trust me, and I love Alex so much, and it breaks my heart because good people just get taken advantage of in this world. And Jesse Maines knows Alex is a good person. He knows he's a loving person. He knows that if he seems like a weak, feeble man who maybe doesn't feel as strong in his convictions anymore, Alex will reach out and be there for him. And it makes me so mad because he's fine. And so then we saw in the last episode Jesse listening in. Like, has he bugged Alex somehow? I mean, I feel like the only way maybe he, I mean, putting a bug in his outfits or whatever seems a bit strange. Has he bugged his prosthetics or something? Like, was he listening in? And so he listened in and he heard Alex talking to Michael, and he heard Alex say, I'm going to get the piece of the ship for my dad. And instead of just waiting for Alex to bring it to him, he abducted him. Like, what is happening there? He knows he found that piece of paper, although that flew away. But if he has the actual console piece, he doesn't need that anymore. But I'm just so stressed about that ending with Alex. And Michael will possibly think that he's doing something with his dad. I don't know, I'm stressed. Alex doesn't deserve this. And, like, I just hate anything bad has possibly happened to him and that no one knows currently. That hopefully Liz is going to be like, hey guys, I couldn't get hold of Alex, and then they will go and find him, but he doesn't deserve any suffering and stress. But that conversation he had with Michael was really important, and to an extent I think Michael is covering his hand, because people around town would have seen his hand and might be like, wasn't that broken? So I don't think it's just that, but it is true that we know Michael was clinging on to that hand, to the scar, to the pain it caused, because it reminded him to not let people in and not to love. And I think Alex sort of pointing out that not only does he know that, it's just that conversation was horrible, and it hurt to watch, but they said a lot of things that they needed to say to each other. And I think, again, it's a small part of the healing process, and even the fact that Michael did let Alex leave, because I truly don't think Michael would have fought Alex for it, but he could have quite easily used his powers to zap the thing back to him, you know, like, I don't think he would have had to hurt Alex, basically, to get it back from him because he has powers. But the fact that he did let him walk away with it shows that he does trust him, and that to me is so special, because that is potentially, like, Jesse Maines might want that to kill everyone. So it kills me that Alex is trusting his father, but I totally understand it. I totally understand wanting to give a parent the chance to change and the chance to not disappoint you, and then having them continually do it. But for Alex, I'm just so upset, and I'm so bloody stressed. I'm stressed that Forrest is somehow involved. I don't know why. I mean, it's more just because I don't see him and Alex being a long-term relationship, because Malix is the long-term relationship here. And so therefore I'm like, well, Maria's not secretly evil, so maybe it's Forrest. And maybe, you know, if he was in the military, maybe he's all part of it and he was a plant that was put there by Jesse to get close to Alex so that they'd have tabs on him or something. Like, he could have been the one that bugged Alex. It's just very stressful, and I hate everything that's happening to Alex right now. I love, like I said before, Michael's growth this series has really been beautiful to watch, you know, like he's beginning to accept that he can have a family, he can love people, and that's what he needs to do to get with Alex. And I just think it's really beautiful to watch. Max is doing the opposite. Max is spiralling, but hopefully, as awful as it is to know that he was chained up and there had to be a fight to free him, knowing that there were people fighting to free him will hopefully help him with that. And just, oh my god, I feel like I've missed out stuff, but like, too much happened in this episode and my brain is boggled and I'm stressed for Alex. So yeah, this was a brilliant episode, and now I need to go and hibernate for a week because Alex is in danger. Okay, so I just finished recording and I looked and I saw that the next episode comes out on June 1st. We have to wait 2 weeks. 2 weeks? They do that to Alex and then they wait 2 weeks? I want to have words with you, CW. Thank you for watching. Unless you're the CW, in which case, we need words.